Hello, welcome to Grammar and Writing Lesson 22. Get started with vocabulary. Get your notebooks out, nice and ready to go. Our first vocabulary word is lie. Now this is not lie like a mentira. This is lie as in to recline, rest, or remain. To lie down in your bed or something like that. That's what this word lie means. Lie like mentira is spelled the same way, but it's a different meaning. For example, I like to lie on the floor. It's a little weird, I know, but so this is not actually about me. But maybe when it's really, really hot, it is sometimes nice to lie on the floor because the floor is colder than anywhere else. So if you've ever experienced that. But other than that, yeah, that's a little weird to just lie on the floor. The past tense of lie is lay. Lay. So today I lie, yesterday I lay. Past is lay. Last night I lay on the floor for hours. All right, now we have the word lay. You're probably thinking, Miss Ashley, we just saw lay. It's the past of lie. Not this time, okay? This is the part of English that gets a little confusing. Lie and lay are two of the most, okay, I'll be honest, confusing verbs that you can run up against. Okay, even I, an English speaker of, how old am I now? 27? Yeah, I'm 27, right? 27 years old. I still sometimes get lie and lay confused. So don't worry if you get it confused too. It's okay. Just do your best. Okay? So lie, the first one we learned is to rest, recline, remain. Lay in the present tense, like right now, lay means to put or place something. So you're putting something down. Lie, you are doing the action of reclining, of putting yourself down. Lay, you are putting something else down. For example, I will lay the plates on the table while you lay the baby in his crib. So you're putting down the plates. You're putting down the baby, okay? So it's the action of putting or placing something. The past tense of lay is laid. Laid. For example, he laid his backpack on the floor. You would not say he lied his backpack. You would not say he lay his backpack. He laid his backpack on the floor. Let's do some practice because that's often the best way to really make sure that you've got these. We're going to fill in the blank with the correct vocabulary word. At the beach, I will blank on the sand. Okay, think about this. Are you putting something down or are you doing the action of going down? Because if you're putting something down, what is being put down? If it's yourself, you have to think of yourself like picking yourself up with your hands and putting yourself down. Are you able to do that? No. So that's why we can't use lay when it's talking about yourself being put down. Does that make any sense? Okay, number 2. Yesterday he blank in bed all day. Okay, so is it yesterday he lay or yesterday he laid? Think about it. It has to be the past tense. Is he doing the action himself or is he putting something else down? Number 3, let us blank these papers on the desk. Okay, something reclining or something being put down. Number 4, last night I blanked my keys on the dresser. Once again, is something reclining, resting, or something being put down? Number 5, the past tense of lie is, and number 6, the past tense of lay is. Okay, let's check your answers. At the beach, I will lie on the sand. Lie, because you're doing the reclining. You can't say I will lay, because that's the idea that you pick yourself up and put yourself down with your own hands. Are you able to do that? No, that'd be a little awkward, right? Try it, try it. It's a little difficult to pick your whole self, your whole body up, right? Yeah, no, you can't do it. Number 2, yesterday he lay in bed all day. It's lay, not laid. It may sound like it should be laid, but it's not. He lay in bed because lay is the past tense of lie. So he's doing the reclining. Laid means he would have picked himself up and put himself in the bed. He can't do that. So he lay, past tense of lie. Number 3, let us lay these papers on the desk. You're putting the papers down in the present tense. So you are laying the papers on the desk. Last night I laid my keys on the dresser. So you put or place them, but it's in the past, so you do laid. Past tense of lie is lay, and past tense of lay is laid. How'd you do? If you did well, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Gold star. All right, let's keep going with your grammar lesson. We are talking about commas. We're moving into punctuation. So get out your papers. If you have your language book, that would be Michelle, Ruby, and Albert. Open up to page 38. The rest of you, my 6 who have already done this in your book, you need to just get out your pages that are from your binder, okay? So commas make things clearer. Commas separate parts of a sentence. So commas are used to separate, to make things a little bit clearer, mostly to separate. Commas also set a word or words apart from the rest of a sentence. So they separate the individual parts of a sentence, or they separate word or words from the rest of the sentence. Commas are very useful, but be careful not to overuse them. Then you'll have too many spaces in your sentence, in your paragraph, because a comma is like a little pause, a little breath. If you have a bunch of them, then you're throughout your paragraph, throughout your sentence, so you have to be careful. Don't overuse them. So we have some rules to help. Rule number 1, use a comma and coordinating conjunction, which would be and, but, or, nor, or, yet, to join 2 simple sentences. Remember, a simple sentence is made up of a subject and a verb. So if you want to join 2 simple sentences into just one sentence, you need to use a comma and a coordinating conjunction. For example, I have off to the side there in parentheses, comma, and. So this first example, Jesus Christ brought salvation, comma, and I gladly accepted it. And the second example, Jesus Christ came to earth and died on the cross, no comma. Let's analyze these sentences. In the first example, we have Jesus Christ brought. That's your subject and your verb. What's the action? Brought. Who brought? Jesus Christ brought. In the second part, we have I and accepted. I accepted. What's your action? Accepted it. Accepted. What's your subject? Who accepted? I accepted. So we have 2 sets of subjects and verbs. So these are 2 simple sentences. I have to join them by a comma and. Subject plus verb plus comma and plus subject plus verb. That is what makes this a compound sentence. I've joined 2 simple sentences because they have 2 sets. Join them together properly with a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Let's look at the second example. I have Jesus Christ as my subject, came as my verb, and died as my verb. There is no other subject. So I don't have a comma here before that and, because I just have a subject and verb and another verb. There's not 2 sets of subjects and verbs. There's a subject and a compound verb. What's the action? Came and died. Who came and died? Jesus Christ. They're sharing the same subject. Okay? So if it's a simple sentence with a compound subject or a compound verb, no comma. If it's 2 simple sentences, comma and coordinating conjunction. Let's look at rule 2. Use a single comma, so just 1 comma, to indicate that a word or words have been omitted or to avoid a possible misreading. Let's look at what we mean by that. Use single commas to separate 3 or more items in a series. The reason you use a comma here is because you're omitting the word and. For example, I like chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla ice cream. Chocolate and strawberry need to be separated because they are items in a list. They're not one thing together. And then we have a comma after strawberry as well. We have 3 items in this list: chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. So we separate the items in the list by that comma. Men have traveled across oceans, around the world, and to the moon. So where have they traveled? Across oceans, around the world, to the moon. That's my list. So I separate each part by a comma, including right before that and. Now in the last example, look at what it says. Jaden and AJ and Joshua toured Europe this summer. They're separated by ands, so there's no comma because we separated it by ands. But that sounds a little wordy, right? Sounds kind of weird. Jaden and AJ and Joshua. So that's not common. That's not normally what you would see. But if everything is separated by an and, no comma. Okay? Just those ands are all that you need. Let's keep looking at rule number 2. We need to use single commas to separate 2 or more adjectives preceding a noun. Remember that word preceding means coming in front of a noun. In English, adjectives typically come in front of nouns, not behind them. Do not put a comma between the last adjective and the noun it modifies. Remember, modifies is another word for describes. So the adjective that's right in front of that noun, you don't put a comma between the adjective and the noun. For example, the old dilapidated barn was still in use. Dilapidated means it's falling apart. She comforted the small, frightened child. So here we have two adjectives in front of these nouns. We separate them with a comma, old, dilapidated. We don't put a comma between dilapidated and barn because dilapidated is the adjective, barn is the noun. No comma there. We just separate the 2 adjectives, old and dilapidated. In the second example, the 2 adjectives are small and frightened. So we need to separate those with a comma, but no comma in front of child. If the last adjective is so closely related to the noun, it modifies that the 2 words seem to form one expression. It's almost like a compound noun. Do not use the comma to separate that adjective from other adjectives. For example, we ate some tasty graham crackers. Okay, in italics, I have the adjective, tasty graham. But graham crackers, that's like one thing. If you say crackers, you're going to think of something different than when you think of graham crackers. We use that often, graham crackers. It's a compound noun. So graham crackers, they go together. They form one noun. So really, we just have tasty as our adjective. So it does not need a comma. But how can we be sure? Well, there's 2 tests for this. The first one is to put and between the adjectives. If it sounds awkward to have that word and in between them, do not use a comma. They're too close. The second test is to switch the order of the adjectives, to put the one adjective in front and the other adjective behind it. And if the adjectives sound awkward in the new position, the comma is not needed. So let's take a look at that. We ate some tasty and graham crackers. Does that sound right? No, that sounds weird. So you would not do that. How about test number 2? We ate some graham tasty crackers. Nope, still sounds awkward, right? So it does not pass either test, so no comma, it's just like this. We ate some tasty graham crackers. One more facet to this rule, we use a single comma to avoid misreading. For example, after losing my brother does not want to talk for a while. Wait a minute, are we losing your brother? Or your brother lost something, your brother lost a game and he doesn't want to talk for a while. What is it? Okay, it's confusing. What are we trying to say? So we need that comma. After losing, my brother does not want to talk for a while. So that clearly separates it. Your brother lost, so he does not want to talk for a while. That comma is very important. Let me show you just how awkward it can get. While eating, my grandpa and I enjoy watching TV. Ah, are we eating your grandpa? That's not good. Oh, we're missing a comma. While eating, comma, my grandpa and I enjoy watching TV. So that really helps things not be so awkward. Take out page 39 and 40. We're going to do the first four of Think A and the first four of Think B to get you started on your homework. So Think A says, first of all, circle the coordinating conjunction in each of the following sentences. Then, if there is a simple sentence to the right of the conjunction as well as to the left, so it's joining two simple sentences, place a comma before the coordinating conjunction. That's rule number one. Okay, sentence number one says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning. What is your coordinating conjunction? And, very good. And. Does this need a comma? There we go. Does this need a comma? No, because a wise man will hear, will increase learning. It's not two separate simple sentences. A wise man will hear and will increase. Will hear is a verb, will increase is a verb. They go together, they share the same subject, man. Man will hear, man will increase. So it's not two simple sentences, no comma. Sentence number two, cast thy burden upon the Lord and he shall sustain thee. Where is your coordinating conjunction? And, very good. So, and is your coordinating conjunction. Does this need a comma? Cast thy burden upon the Lord. What's your verb? Cast. Who or what is casting? You. Understood you. It's an imperative sentence. So you cast thy burden upon the Lord. Now look after the and. He shall sustain thee. Do you have a verb? Yes, shall sustain. Who shall sustain? He. So we have a subject verb set in front, you cast. Then we have a separate subject verb set, he shall sustain. So I have two simple sentences. So yes, this one needs a comma. Number three, a prudent man foreseeth evil and hideth himself. Where's your coordinating conjunction? Very good, and. Okay, let's look at the first part. A prudent man foreseeth evil. What's your verb? This one might be tricky. It's foreseeth. That means like to be able to see into the future a little bit, to see what's going to happen. So a prudent man means a wise man foreseeth evil. So a wise man can tell that evil is coming. So your verb is foreseeth. Who foreseeth? Man foreseeth. Let's look at the after the and. Hideth himself. What's your verb? Hideth. What's your subject? Man from the first part. So man foreseeth and hideth. So I don't have two simple sentences, so no comma. Let's look at number four. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. So that means that every man thinks about what he's doing as being right to him, whether or not it is. But the Lord pondereth, so he thinks about, that's what the word pondereth means, to think about. He thinks about the hearts, so what man is intending to do. What's your coordinating conjunction? It's but. Very good. No longer and. We moved away from ands, so we have but as our coordinating conjunction. All right. Excuse me. So let's look at the first part in front of the word but. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. What is your verb? Is. Very good. What's your subject? Way. Good. Way is. How about after the but? What's your subject? Or excuse me, what's your verb? Pondereth. Who pondereth? Lord pondereth. So I have a subject and verb, way is. Then I have another subject and verb, Lord pondereth. So this needs a comma because it's two simple sentences joined together to make a compound sentence. All right, then you're going to finish exercises or sentences 5 through 8 a little bit later. But look at where it says think back. A fragment can be joined to a sentence by a comma, but another sentence must be joined with a comma and a conjunction. So just don't forget that. If you're putting a fragment, so it's missing either the subject or a verb, you're attaching it to your sentence, you can attach it with just a comma. But if it's a whole other sentence that you're attaching to another sentence, you need a comma and a conjunction. Okay, think B on page 40. This one says study each sentence and decide if the comma is used correctly or not. Put C for correct and I for incorrect. Again, this comes from rule number 1. Number 1, Josiah Creasy loved the sea and wanted to be a ship's captain. Look at the comma right after C. I have a comma and. Is that correct? Am I joining two separate sentences? Josiah Creasy loved the sea. What's your verb? Loved. Who loved? Josiah Creasy. Good. Look after the and. Wanted to be a ship's captain. What's your verb? Wanted. Who wanted? Josiah Creasy wanted. So, do I want to put a comma there? Nope. This one is incorrect because I'm not joining two simple sentences. I have just a compound verb, loved and wanted. Number 2, his hard work, comma, and strong leadership abilities earned him the rank of captain by age 23. Okay, his hard work. Is that a sentence? No, that's not a sentence, so I can't put a comma there. There's no reason. So that one's incorrect. Number 3, Josiah's wife was an excellent navigator, and she sailed with him. I have a comma and there. Let's check out the first part. Josiah's wife was an excellent navigator. What's your verb? Was. Who was? Wife was. Okay, let's check out the second part. She sailed with him. What's your verb? Sailed. Who sailed? She sailed. So do I need that comma there? Yes, because I have two simple sentences. Wife was and she sailed. So this one is correct. Last one we're going to do together, number 4. Josiah was a captain, comma, who kept his ship to its schedule in spite of obstacles. Okay, am I separating anything in a list? No. Am I separating adjectives? No. Do I have a coordinating conjunction? Nope. So this one is not correct. There should not be a comma there. It should just say Josiah was a captain who kept his ship to its schedule in spite of obstacles. All right, so for your homework, you need to complete Think A and Think B on pages 39 through 40. Where it says go back on the bottom of page 40, can you explain your answers for Think B? Just like I talked you through these answers, you need to go back and decide if you understand, if you truly understand why you gave the answer that you gave. So if I were to call you up on Thursday and say, hey, so go look at Think B, tell me why you picked what you picked, you would be able to tell me, okay? All for now, and I'll see you in the next lesson.